Hey there. Running a little late today, but it is Friday, March 26th. We're down to the last Friday, last week in March, in the first quarter of the year. A couple days, we'll be 25% into 2021. Hope everybody's doing well and enjoying playing the guitar, enjoying the weather. I hope it's warming up where you are. It's probably not in some places. I know we've been still having some weird stuff going on here. The big news around here is the birds took off Monday. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the last couple posts I did, part 8 on that thread is about 15 minutes long, and one of them leaves in about 5 minutes in, and the other leaves about 14 minutes close to the end. 3 hours apart, actually, in real time between when baby number 1 took off and baby number 2. And number 2 was really fun to watch because she or he took a lot of test flights and zipped around a little bit and always came back to the nest, and sometimes it's just kind of flying there like it looks like, oh, there's losing altitude, and he's like got to pump so hard to try to get back in there. Anyway, okay, so the Hummingbird Saga is over at TG Central here for 2021. Certainly hope that Mama comes back next year. I got 2 more corners in the awning out here where there's room for nests. Where she was this time was kind of like the least convenient because it was right outside my door, and so I couldn't do lessons outside. Well, I still did. She got used to the music happening out there. But hey, I have a few other things I want to ask. Let's see. Where am I going to start this? Basically, it comes down to I was talking to some old students the other day about missing artists that we have here. And 2 came up. Oh man, I don't think I can fake my way through a song by either of them without... No, I can't. Don't mess it. But 2 came up that I thought, man, I should do songs by them. One was Toad the Wet Sprocket, and the other was Chris Rea. And he's somebody who really, he had a couple of songs make it a little bit here in the United States, but he never came to the United States. He came, I think he did a Letterman show once, but never toured here, and his albums didn't ever do very well. But boy, some fabulous songs. And he made like 20 albums or something, and he's getting up there and having some health problems, but started making me think, okay, I could at least do... And he plays a lot of slide. Well, he plays basically with a slide on his finger all the time, and still does a lot of stuff without it. So kind of cool thing. So my point here is I'd really be open to suggestions of artists that are conspicuously missing here. Now, there are some that we have maybe only one song by, and they've sort of fallen off my radar. But like one of them is Love, Arthur Lee and Brian McLean. The only song I have is Alone Again or. Some really dissonant chords and stuff like that. And I was listening to a friend of mine's folk radio show. My friend David Stafford has a show every Friday afternoon, California time, 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. On KKUP called the Friday Folk Off, and it's billed as folk music, and he usually has relatively contemporary stuff. A lot of times, up until like the last year, he usually had like a live guest in there that would play, and I've been on his show a couple of times in the last couple of years. But he played a couple other love tunes, in particular one called "And More Again." And so and then he played another one later. I forget which one it was. It's from the same album, Forever Changes. But it was really odd to hear these songs from 1960. 8, 9, right in there, probably 68. Anyway, and so I thought, okay, I got to do some more of their really unusual chord progressions. A lot of times you'd hear something like. They were a lot more organized than that. But Brian McLean came up with some really, really cool stuff. So I encourage you to listen to it. It's a little on the psychedelic rock side. That's what I have it classified in my iTunes as, is that. So anyway, that's a few things that crossed my mind lately. Would definitely appreciate some other suggestions. Let's see, like who else have we conspicuously missed? I should have thought about this first, but I'd like you guys to recommend some people that we've missed. Okay. Last week, two things that materialized for me just really quickly. Again, I had a couple students working on Unforgettable, and I just kind of accidentally, like this is what I do, is when I've got somebody working on some songs, I'll start messing around and seeing if it makes a reasonable instrumental. Exactly what happened a few weeks ago with Let It Be Me, because of Steve's upload of that. I got to get back to uploads in just a minute too, because we have. Well, no, I'll give you a hint. I'll head off in this tangent first. Got two things up there that I've been waiting to get to. Steve put up a version of Ashokan Farewell, which was a really beautiful tune by Jay Unger, who was an old folkie from West Virginia. Anyway, used to run a camp at called the Ashokan Camp or something like that, And this was just a tune that he wrote many years before Ken Burns got a hold of it and made it the theme from the Civil War. But anyhow, so I got to get that is happening, and we have Carol and her little take on Scarborough Fair, so that I just published today. So I will get to those next week. Okay, but I wasn't supposed to be talking about student reviews just yet, because I was just again thinking about bands that we need more songs by, or more lessons by, and so anyhow, I guess I'm just kind of thinking of resurrecting the recommend a lesson thing. So Unforgettable, though, kind of just materialized because a few students were working on it, and I got really curious about the key it's in, and it turns out that it's in two different keys. That was why it's like every time I'd listen to it, it's like, man, something's really weird about this song. Feels like it's in this case, the way Nat King Cole did it, feels like it's in F at the beginning, then it ends in B flat. Not good guitar keys, but G, great guitar key. So I hope a few of you have checked that out, and tried something a little bit different in there. It's a little bit more self-serve. So we're just going with the melody and the chords, and make up your own arrangement. Let's see, what else did we have this week? We snuck in Vanessa's tune, the Eagles tune, and I was surprised that her preview didn't get dinged, at least here in the United States, but obviously from Dermot's post it got dinged in the UK, and so the Eagles are not real, I guess they think we're taking advantage of them. I don't know. Anyway, very cool lesson and great playthrough, and as some of you have seen the comments that Vanessa got on that. Doug surprised me with what he pulled out this week, just exercises for guitar players to make your fingers, warm-up exercises. So I hope it's only been up for a little while. I just got it out earlier this morning. So I hope some of you have checked that out. And then Carpenter City. Weird chords. In this lesson, a few odd things materialized. I'm going to try to talk and play this at the same time. There we go. Oh, love that chord. The Al Stewart chord. That's kind of the chord that at Al Stewart's workshop for us in 2013 created a whole little, just kind of a funny little exchange between Al and me talking about what we would call this chord. and it led into him making up a whole song on the spot. So I guess that leads me into a camp thought, but wait, I have one more thought on, maybe forget it, about Superstar. I hope some of you have watched the later version, 2016 it was, when Bonnie Bramlett sang it with Leon Russell in the audience a few years before he died. Because I ran into that a couple months ago when I had a couple students working on this, and it brought tears to my eyes. It's like I'm watching this and I'm melting down. And when I started to work on the lesson last week, I thought, oh, I got to put that one in there along with Rita Coolidge's version and other stuff just in the forum thread. And I thought, oh, I better watch Bonnie do this again because I hadn't seen it in a couple of months. Same thing happened. I was speechless and floored. So hope you guys have checked that out. It gave me a chance to bring up a really interesting technique, and I realized as I was trying to fake my way through playing the melody there are times when you have to do things with an unusual finger, and right there I needed to get to a B minor chord. From the note A to B, but I wanted to slide. And so I did that slide with my third finger. And then I thought, I'm hosed. I need the rest of a B minor chord. So I had to reach over with my fourth finger to get the fourth string, to have all the notes of a B minor. And that reminded me that when I worked out the intro with these odd chords, B in the bass, it gave me a chance to introduce a rarely used technique, but one that can come in handy sometimes, and that is using different fingers to play the same note at the same time. What, you say? I needed to play a C with B in the bass and grab the top three strings. And the choices for that were either play the B with my first finger and reach up with my fourth finger and play three notes at the fifth fret, second, third, and fourth strings, which a lot of people might find. I guess you could even do it with your third, which is probably stronger, but it's a bigger stretch, and then keep the bass note ringing while it comes down into a B minor chord. And I thought, oh, people are going to complain. They're going to say that's too hard. It is hard. So I was looking for alternate ways of doing it. And I thought, well, the C with B in the bass, first of all, a really dissonant chord, but when it resolves right away to B minor, one thing we could do is only play two of the notes of the B minor. It's still pretty stretchy. But then again, a trick I've used in other places is I want to keep this bass note ringing, so I change what finger's holding it down. And then I can grab the rest of the chord. So you could practice that, and I talk about this in the lesson. So if you haven't seen the lesson, but you want to try a stupid guitar player's trick, practice things like this. Hit a note, I've got my second finger on B, and I'm switching it to my first finger and keeping it ringing. Then back to my second, and back to my first. It's dying now, but shouldn't hear it even buzz like that. So that again just kind of popped up as I was doing the lesson on Superstar. I think that's all I have to talk about last week's stuff. We had Unforgettable, Superstar, Wasted Time, and finger exercises. Next week, let's see if I've got everything. I already mentioned the reviews. Good. Let's see. Vanessa's working on something that really surprised me. She pulls out songs that like I grew up with, right? Every once in a while, which means she didn't hear them. She didn't grow up with them. But I don't know if an instrumental with that, whether it can't have the drive of the piano quite and play the melody at the same time, but we'll see. Watched an interesting video of Graham Nash playing that on guitar. Capoed way the heck up on the Howard Stern show. That was pretty interesting. Okay, so that's one thing. And she's working on a... Uh-oh. I'm not going to be able to fake my way through this. I don't know what key it's in. Another Carpenters tune coming out. Let me think about that. It's probably not in D. It's probably an E. Let me see. There we go. Something like that. Anyway, so those are coming up from Vanessa. Bob is working on this. Oh, I have no idea how his is going to go. Well, anyway, so we got a U2 tune coming up next week, and I got a couple others. I've got a few like part way down. I don't know which one is going to show up first, so I can't even speculate there. But I think that is it. Let's see. Let's play something kind of cool. If I can remember what it's called. There it is. It happens. That note every time. Got it once. Out of eight or nine I missed. I gotta practice that. Old John Renbourn tune. I sometimes forget which song it is. That one's Debbie Ann because I confuse it with Day at the Seaside. Okay, never mind. Enough old John Renbourn tunes for today. Okay, that is it for our last Friday in March. I'll be back next week. Will that be April 3rd? 2nd, I guess, huh? April 2nd coming up. Next, we got a lot of excitement going on here this weekend, too. I don't know how we're giving up the house for a bachelorette party, and going to spend a few days, maybe just one, a few hours away down in San Luis Obispo area, visiting some friends, and just hope we come back to a house that has not been destroyed by a pre-wedding party. Oh well. See you next week.